guess this is kind of a makeup episode of life study. So
Makeup bonus.
yeah, bonus episode. That sounds better.
Yeah.
So if you're familiar with the show, you may have noticed last week, or
Yeah.
last week when we posted this month's episode. 20 minutes in, the video died, and it looks like it was just a sort of, we lost the internet, and when it came back on, the video worked, but the sound did not. So to make up for that, Mairin-taj and I thought we would do a little mini bonus episode, just 20-25 minutes, just to make up for the lost time of the previous show. So, and if you're not familiar with the show, well, welcome. Life Studied is me and my good friend Mairin-taj, who is a professional artist and model. And we just draw and talk all things art and life. We're sponsored by our good friends at Curio here in downtown Lancaster, PA. I will put a link to their website in the description. They're a fantastic art supply store run by artists. So if you have a special order, like Amazon doesn't care about getting your money, and they certainly don't care about your art supplies, but these guys do. So you can reach out to them, and they're happy to help. Or if you're anywhere in the Pennsylvania area, it's just a great art store. And also the nice folks at Blackwing, so I get the logo. They send us pencils, and we use them to draw, and I've been a big fan for years. So anyway, Mairin-taj, how are you today?
I'm all right.
Good.
I'm sitting with an idea about art and family.
Oh, okay.
Might be appropriate for our theme.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because I was thinking while I'm drawing, we would just make use of the fact that we're still in November, and just talk about things we're grateful for. Because I think, when you're an artist, there's this great piece in the end of the Banksy book where it's like a stencil of a woman, and it has the text next to it. It says something like, "It's really cool how all you do is think about yourself," or something like that. Like for artists, like we just sit around thinking about ourselves and our work all day.
Yeah.
So I want to remind myself to maybe not do that every day.
Right. Check in with what we have.
Yes.
Yeah. Appreciate.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're going to jump into it because this is a mini episode, so it'll be 20-25 minutes. So I will draw. Occasionally you'll hear beeps. That's just Mairin-taj's timer going off. And you might hear the rumble of trucks and stuff because we are in a downtown area. So forgive any noise. And that's it. All right, let's draw.
Okay. 2 minutes all right for you?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Has it been a bit?
I have not drawn all day. I've been running all morning, so. All right. So what's this that you have on your mind?
I just kind of came across it online, so this is just like one of those things. But it's a quote. I don't know where it comes from. It's just a little statement thingy that someone shared, but it says, "Art is family. Don't treat it like a stranger."
Oh.
And I'm like, oh.
Oh man. That's really good, actually.
I love that, and because I feel like there's layers to that. I feel like there's depth to that.
That's
for artists and for non-artists.
Damn, yes, because we've talked quite a bit about people at least in the U.S. here, not really having a lot of familiarity with art in general. And
a couple. I don't remember the episode. A couple episodes ago, we talked about the question of education in a culture around their own art, around a culture's art.
Right.
Yeah, and like familiarity with it, value of it, etc.
Yeah, so that's great. So you're thinking all of us should be more familiar, not just artists. Like treat art like family, treat it like a thing you love, or is there more to it than that?
Maybe. I mean, something that comes up for me is like, obviously I'm an artist, so I'm going, okay, what are the ways in which I kind of sabotage my practice, or what are the ways in which I, don't really appreciate the fact that I can be an artist and that I can practice at all, is so like touching on gratitude. That's something like on a personal level, and then on a larger scale for me, as I'm kind of motivated by and passionate about helping the times that we live in to reconnect with the value of the art and the artist and the
Yes.
artist's role in society.
Yeah, and I think, whenever a discussion around art comes up with non-artist folks, it always comes back to some product that they've heard about that's making people money, right?
Yeah.
It's always, oh my God, do you see these guys are making all this money with NFTs? Or, did you see this painting sold for X amount of millions of dollars? Or now the new thing is obviously AI
Right.
art.
Yeah, the AI, like the self-port, the little like photo, the AI like generated imagery of yourself you can put up on your Instagram.
Oh,
social
God,
media or
man.
something. That's such a trend. Everyone's like, I love the way I look in these AI generated images.
Yes, and famous people are taking, like, you see, like, especially Elon Musk is really into retweeting or posting whatever it's called now that it's X, AI versions of himself. It's like you've never looked that good in your entire life.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's like it's the new filter, right? It's the new like funny kind of softening filter that makes you look cooler. But that's art to a lot of folks now. One of the big things that's been in my circles is this new Coca-Cola commercial that was produced entirely on AI. I don't know which system they used, and that's particularly tragic because of Coca-Cola's history with illustration. We have the red suited Santa thanks to Coca-Cola, and generation later we had the polar bears, like the animated works that they were producing. So having them do AI, that's been the thing that, like, especially non-artists, there's this kind of like, hey, look how cool this is, and then the other side of people panicking, like, look how bad this is, but now this big company's doing it, so it's going to be regularly done. But that's the opposite of what you're talking. It's like there's no connection to that stuff. It's just a product, which is a bummer.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately, art is made by us. It's made by people, living beings, with complex relationships to the world around them and themselves and each other. And so, I don't know, it's sort of interesting to me to think of like treat art as family and not a stranger.
Yes.
It's an extension of saying,
check in with it.
Reconnect with where it's coming from and the people that are making it. And I mean, maybe that's not the best way to say that. But.
No, I think you're right. I think the idea of reconnecting with it like a loved one is really, really kind of a beautiful sentiment. And it's easy to forget that it's all around us, but it's not meant to always be sold.
Yeah.
And just like a loved one is not. You're not trying to profit by investing time with that, right?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not like, what can you do for me? And I want to take
Right,
from you.
right. I just like being with this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Like art is a living thing in that way.
Yeah. I like that quite a bit, actually. That's a cool. So, and you saw this online just randomly? Was there?
I think so, yeah. I think I shared it on my stories on my Instagram, so I'll share that with you.
Yeah.
We can just like put it out there in the world more.
Yeah, because I've been like in so much of my work is like a product now. That it would be nice to get back to that. I don't often draw things that are just for nothing. I mean, even this, our time right now, like, I love spending time with you. I love getting to draw with you. But even this is for something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that would be, I need that. I need some of that medicine for sure.
And I think this is an appropriate seasonal festive time to reconnect with that sentiment as well.
Yeah.
And on that note, like gratitude, appreciation, what's your thoughts around that right now?
Well, I've been sort of taking it back to like, because it's easy to go, I'm grateful for my work, and I'm grateful for the clients I've had and the cool things I've gotten to do.
Yeah.
But I've been like catching myself like wanting to go like farther. I mean, I remember I was thinking about this actually just recently. I remember being a little kid, and there was another little kid that was like a friend of my mom's. It was her daughter, right? So you end up hanging out with kids just because your parents are hanging out. And I remember being so jealous of her because she had this like an actual desk with like all these pencils in it. And I don't know why that popped into my head fairly recently. And it's just, I remember, I just thought to myself, well, shit, I got to take it further because I have pencils. Like that probably seems really cheesy. But I have all that stuff that I wanted as a little kid. I was so jealous of.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a big, I mean, it's important to see how far we've come, even in those ways.
Yeah.
The things that we may have envied or desired when we were young, and now we can achieve them or have them.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to forget it, right? You just take that shit for granted because you have it.
Right, and we get accustomed to it being in our life.
Yeah. Especially something as simple as just the supplies for doing this stuff that we love, you know? Christ, like people give me this stuff now, you know, like that's.
Yes, we used to, like there were times when we were like, oh, I wish.
Yeah, my God, yeah. Like I think about that, like, you know, I remember literally thinking it would be the coolest thing in the world to have a sponsor, and I'd be, you know, like in terms of like sort of the goofy sports comparison, like, you know, these guys get sponsors and then they just get to play for a living, and you know, it's not that big, but I still have all the shit I want to do to be able to make art, which is, you know, incredible.
Yeah, and speaking of awesome art supplies, Curio.
Yes.
The best place for it.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, to get back to what you're saying, like even just this, having these friends, like having this space, getting to sit here and draw with you, like, you know, I think of you as a friend, but if I'm honest, it's also like I'm incredibly fortunate to have someone that I can sit and work with and gets it, you know, and just not take that for granted. Like this isn't, not everybody gets to work with a friend that's also a pro model and artist and understands like
in the wheelhouse that you have.
Yeah. So I have a lot and I'm super grateful. And you know, there's the obvious stuff like the clients I mentioned and the folks that support our Patreons and they're all amazing. So, but I guess I want to dig deeper and be grateful for like, you know, the air we're breathing and the paper we're drawing on and the time we have, and I don't know, I'm grateful. Amen. How about you?
Amen.
Yeah.
I hope you can hear me since I'm facing this.
Yeah, I'm sure we're fine. I hope you guys can hear me. I lost my voice a little bit, so it's a little raspy.
Oh no.
Yeah, I get like
this
hay
happens
fever.
Cyclically.
Every fall I get hay fever.
Okay. And
it hits me like just right here at the like the top of my chest.
Oh, that's tough.
And it's, well, I mean, like I try not to complain because I don't get sick.
Yeah,
right. But I get this every year, and this year I thought I got off scot-free because it's been like 70 degrees every day.
Mild, yeah.
And the second it got cold, like I'm actually convinced that I was starting to go through like the seasonal allergies for fall because everything was so warm for so long, and then I started to feel funky, and then the cold hit, and I just got like, so yeah, I'm just getting my voice back. I actually didn't teach this week because of it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably a nice reprieve for you.
I'm
Mike's
not gonna comment.
Hands up gesture.
Oh man, I'm gonna lose my voice again. God, let me go this way.
Just a little inside joke.
Yes. I'm not gonna. Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Yeah. Do you want to go to 5 minutes now?
Sure. Let me swap out pages then while you. Give me 1 minute.
Since we're trying to keep it a shorter.
Yeah. It's a smart.
I love that though. You know, even just now with the stuff that's happened recently with our country.
Yes.
You know, like you said, being grateful for the air to breathe.
Yeah,
you know,
honestly.
It's such a it's almost like we're being reminded to really treasure the things that we do have.
Yeah.
Even like air. Even if it's smoggy air, you know.
Oh God. Yeah, we'll leave it there just to keep from getting political, but there's nothing that we should be taking for granted anymore. Not that we ever should have been, but you know, we're not in a war zone. We're not like we still have
Right.
food in our bellies and time with family, and we're not stuck trying to survive, like having to find water and stuff that other poor folks in other countries are having to deal with. Like
Seriously. Survival situation.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But anyway,
I have a quirky thing that I do, and it's kind of like a gratitude thing, but it's not specific to Thanksgiving.
okay.
It's specific to well, it's not specific. It's just a thing that I do that I noticed I do more and more these days.
Right.
I think of, or I'm thinking of, or like I'm doing something about or aware of a person that I think is cool, like
Right.
David Mitchell or Helen Mirren. I fucking love.
Oh,
Helen
she's
Mirren.
great.
She's so wonderful. Or Dame Judi Dench. She's
Yeah.
my hero. And I'll think about them, and then I'll consciously in my brain I'll like kind of bird's eye view the world as a planet and like see myself pinned like a pinpoint on that planet, and then I'll pinpoint that other person. Like I know
Oh.
Judi Dench is in England or she's in Scotland
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. And it doesn't have to be a literal map, but I'm just saying I think consciously about how I exist here and now in
Oh,
this
man.
timeline and in the same reality theoretically that Judi Dench is existing in.
Wow.
Or like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, isn't it so fucking cool that I live in the same world as Judi Dench
Yeah.
or whatever, whomever.
No, that's a great.
And I do that often when I'm catching myself being like really fucking pissy and
Oh my god.
you know like.
Yeah. I love that. I it's funny. I never would have thought to do that, except I did it physically once. My family, my wife's from Greece, so my family, like my wife, her parents, and my kids all went to Greece, and they've been there multiple times, but this is the first time when they were young and they went without me because I couldn't leave because of work. And I remember breaking out a globe and putting a pin where I was and then putting a pin where they were.
Aww.
So I did that physically, and I would look at it, at night or when they would call,
Yeah.
to remind myself of the distance between us at that moment.
Yeah.
And so I've never thought of it again until now. You're mentioning this, and that sort of summing up the world physically for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And putting you and someone you care about in it. That's a cool way to, remind yourself that we're all together in this thing.
Yeah, we're all here. Because you know how it is. We have the internet. We have all these screens.
Yes.
And we can see someone on the TV, and it almost sort of, speaking of taking things for granted, we can kind of separate ourselves from the fact that this person is like we could technically get on a plane and like go get closer to where they are. I'm not talking about stalking, please.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Like
I can go to Brad Pitt's house and climb in his bed. Remember that crazy lady did that? There was some there was some stalker that she was infatuated with Brad Pitt.
What?
And so she found his house and just broke in and just got in his bed, I think, and just slept.
Oh.
And then they came home and found her. It was like a Goldilocks thing. It was so, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But it was to me kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh my god, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I'm a walnut, so that's funny. No, but just I think it's fun to. For me, it helps if I'm in a particularly negative mindset to just be like, "Holy shit, I'm on Earth, and this other person's on Earth."
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, you're right. It's a reminder to not hero worship in a way.
Yes, right.
I will see these. I've never seen those two people, but I see celebrities fairly often in the world, like you go to shows or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you see them and you go oh, this fucking guy's as short as I am. I remember seeing, I was at a show and I went to the green room and John Bergthal was in the green room signing some books. If you don't know who he is,
I've heard the name.
He's in The Bear. He plays the Punisher in the Marvel Universe.
That's right, okay.
He's a pretty big, and it was so funny because as I'm walking past him, he looked up at me while signing and kind of gave me this kind of grumpy look, and I recognized that it wasn't grumpy. It was should I be recognizing you?
Yeah.
Who are you? And I'm thinking oh, it's because I'm in the green room. I'm sort of celebrity adjacent, but you don't know what show I'm on. And I'm I wanted to tell him no, dude, I draw. You're not gonna recognize me. But it was just it's always like a funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny way to remind myself, like, oh, these are just dudes. Like, there was another time where I saw not the current Superman actor, but the previous one. I was at a show.
Okay.
And I don't know what he's like in real life, but in this little interaction I had with him, he seemed like the sweetest human being ever. And he's a big guy, unlike John. He's pretty tall. I'd say he's like 6'3" or something. And he couldn't work a coffee machine at all. And I felt so bad because I like walked up, made a coffee and dipped. And I was like, I told my kids, I told them the story and they were so pissed. They were like, oh my God, that's so mean. But I told them, I was like, I had to. Like, I was the most super villainous I've ever felt. Right? Like, I walked up, made a coffee and walked away from Superman as he struggled. So...
That's sort of like you got to take advantage of that opportunity.
I thought so. But yeah.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
But anyway, I'm just to your point though. It's a cool way to remind yourself that, like, you know, they're just people. We're just people.
We're all here.
Yeah.
Spiraling through space right now.
Yeah, man. I saw that there's a meme that says we're not all in the same boat, but we're in the same water or something.
Oh, okay.
Some of us have boats, some of us have yachts, some of us are drowning.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And so that's kind of, yeah.
That's interesting. You want to do one more 5 or are we good?
How long's it been?
Around 20.
We'll do one and then.
Okay.
All right, cool.
These
You
are
okay with that?
Yeah, these are all just seated poses, if you don't mind.
No, that's perfectly okay.
Figure you can kind of like, you know, break in for the day.
Yes. But yes, gratitude. That's a cool way to approach it, and I think one of the, it's not quite the same, but one of the ways that I've been able to is like getting on Patreon, getting on these sites where there's not a distributor or a middleman between me and the work I'm making, has made me like more thankful. I mean, you know, I know they're there all the time. We're always trying to sell them books or whatever, and but it gets to be kind of an abstract thing. Like you see them complaining online about something you made, and you're not a person to them. They're not people to you. So getting to interact with people that you know support our work is, I'm super grateful for. Just even having this, like starting out my career, I would have killed for stuff like Kickstarter and Patreon where I can like directly connect with folks that like the stuff I do. I don't know that I would have taken clients if I could have. Oh yeah. You know, done it my own way the whole time. So I'm very grateful to everybody listening to the show. Yeah.
Yes, we love you. We appreciate you.
Yes.
You help us keep going.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, this is and I get a lot of joy out of this practice of drawing, and we've talked a lot about just having a practice that you need to stick with even when you don't want to, and you don't, you know, life is kind of kicking you in the ass and you're busy with X, Y, and Z. It's nice to have an excuse to get together with you and just shoot the shit and draw and you know, forget about whatever nonsense I have to deliver to some client at the time.
Amen.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Could do this for another 5 minutes.
That could be the whole episode.
That'll be it, yeah.
So you know, maybe you guys out there can think about who are you happy to be on Earth with, even if you've never met them.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a big advocate for, you know, not speciesism.
Right.
Anti-species. So like, you know, there's other beings here too. There's trees.
God, dogs. I'm so grateful we have dogs. Oh my God. I saw a meme once where someone said, shout out to that Neanderthal, the first Neanderthal that like fed a wolf when he came close to the fire. And I think about that all the time because there's so many, like, I'm always juggling too much, and it always seems like the things I'm juggling are on fire. And these dogs will just, like, they'll come into the studio. It's like they sense it, and they're kind of big, so they'll literally just like paw at me. So I like lay down on the floor with them and just relax for a few minutes.
Yes, co-regulate with your animals.
Oh God, yeah.
100%. I do that with my cat.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
told
God.
you we had a kitten for like
For a little
15 minutes.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's where some of the allergy stuff started actually too for my wife and I. So
Aw.
we're grateful to have a kitten for. She was really fun,
Yeah.
but we also paid the price for it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Alpha?
No.
I think it's called Alpha. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of what you said about like the first caveman or whatever who.
Oh man.
opened the
Okay.
door. It's about like this young boy who gets kind of ostracized or lost or something from his tribe, and he has to survive on his own in like brutal conditions.
Ooh.
And he encounters a wolf. And he's like, shit, am I gonna, like, is this gonna be a fight or are we
Yeah.
gonna, and they make friends, and it's this whole journey for them together, and it's such a beautiful story.
Is it live action or animated?
It's
or?
live action.
Oh wow. Okay.
And, I mean, I cried. I loved it so
Oh,
much.
no.
I was just like, yes, animals. Yeah, so I recommend that if you.
I will look for it for sure. Although I probably will cry too. That's
Oh
not-
yeah, 100% you will.
If the freaking wolf dies, I'm not gonna speak to you.
No,
ever
it's not
again.
a, it's not a, ultimately it's not a sad cry. It's
Okay.
just like
Okay.
I'm moved because, you know, the relationship between animals and people are awesome. kind
Yeah,
of.
because like that's one I hate that. Like in the new, but like in those the Batman movies that everybody's infatuated with. The is it Nolan?
Oh yeah, Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan.
There's a scene like I've never seen them, but I remember looking up clips, thinking like, okay, maybe I should check these out, because everybody goes on and on about them.
Yeah.
And I found some clip where like Batman, like two dogs rush him and he immediately kills him. He like throws him
Oh
off the
yeah,
building.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I don't need to watch that.
Right.
Fuck that guy.
I
Sorry for
know.
my language,
I
but
hear ya. I can't watch any movies where animals.
Batman should have had like bat dog treats or something. Where's his utility belt? The dog should have rushed him, and he should have just like given him the bat stare.
Right.
And then the dogs would be like, "Yo, this guy's cool."
Yeah, yeah.
And then they fought with him.
Yeah,
like,
that would have been epic.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
All right. I will shut up. I know I'm not a bright man, but I love dogs. So
No.
anyway,
Love animals, love your people.
Yeah.
Check in. Love your work. Be grateful. Go save some trees, plant some trees, something,
Yeah.
people. We need more air.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Come.
Anyway, thank you guys for supporting the show, for watching the show, for enjoying it.
Yes.
Talk to us in the comments if there's anything you are grateful for.
Yeah.
You know, we both read all our comments and usually respond. So, yeah, thank you. And thank you again to the folks here at Curio, the folks at Blackwing. I'll put the links in the description so you guys can check them out.
Do so. They have a really cool first poster, actually. So
Yeah.
like you can get it.
Oh, that's right. They made
Yeah.
the Curio made a print for the holidays, which
Yeah,
is really cool.
it's so great. You should
Yeah.
check it out. They have it on all their social media. So.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys, and we'll talk to you next month.
Yeah.
Bye. Can I do this without it? Stop.